What's up? I'm Travis. In today's video, we're talking about why you should be resistance training with your mountain bike. First, let me get a few reps in. What? What are you doing? Just doing the new video, resistance training with your mountain bike. No, it's supposed to be resistance training for mountain biking. Oh. Okay, that makes a little more sense. You think, you idiot? Guess we'll talk about that then. God, you are embarrassing. That was kind of rude, don't you think? Well, I guess we'll talk about why you should be resistance training for mountain biking. So this video is all about why you should be incorporating resistance training to improve your mountain biking experience. And I'm not going to be putting any exercises into this video yet, but those videos are coming up. And if that's something that interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss some really cool exercises to be able to improve your mountain biking. Now, it's important to know that resistance training doesn't mean just clanging and banging weights like this. Not everybody has access to a gym, so resistance training can mean a lot more. It could be, using resistance bands, or doing body weight exercises, or using any sort of container, milk jug, whatever you have around, just to give you some more resistance so you can keep progressing. A quick disclaimer here is anytime you start resistance training or you are resistance training, there's always risk for injury. So make sure that you're choosing exercises and weights and loads that challenge you and push you, but allow you to maintain proper form and technique. That way you mitigate the risk of getting hurt. And also, it's always recommended to consult your physician before beginning any new exercise program. But anyway, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video and talk about my reasons that you should incorporate resistance training for mountain biking, BMX, cycling, what have you. And these are in no particular order, so let's get going. Now, the first reason I want to talk about is fatigue resistance. And it's common knowledge that if you do something repetitively and do it over and over again, you get better at it and you require less energy to perform it, thus you fatigue less often. However, resistance training can progress that a little bit further or even expedite that process. And there's even more ways that resistance training can be selective and specific for the kind of fatigue resistance you're looking for. And one reason I'm thinking about here is arm pump or even foot pump. And now if you've ridden some really, really long downhill descents that are really chunky and rocky, by the end of it, your hands are on fire. They just feel kind of like death. Like you can't control them very well. They're cramped. You can't open them and all that. Well, with resistance training, your body becomes used to aggravating loads over and over and over again, and not just aggravating loads such as rock arms and all that, but heavy loads from pumping weights or doing body weight stuff. And it's going to allow those muscles to accommodate and to adapt to those loads so that next time you're out in the chunky terrain, you don't get that arm pump. Now, that's just one way that resistance training can give you some fatigue resistance. There's many more, but I've got more stuff to cover, so let's keep going. So the next topic I want to talk about is a very important one, and that is injury prevention. So when you do resistance training, you're doing a lot of really good things for your body. One of them is that you are developing the musculature that surrounds joint capsules. And that's really important because it creates stability of the joint itself. That way, if you wreck, there's a lot less likelihood that you are going to dislocate or sublux that capsule, and you can just get up from that wreck and walk away. The other thing that you're doing is you are creating more lean muscle mass. And why that's important for injury prevention is that if you wreck and you you reach out with an extended arm or anything like that, the musculature is there and able to help to dissipate the forces that are coming through that arm. So it just helps to transfer the forces elsewhere rather than straight through the bones and up to, say, your clavicle and snap that sucker. So that's really helpful. And another thing that is really good about resistance training is that it taxes your bones. It puts a lot of stress on them, but your bones can adapt and accommodate to those mechanical stresses that you're placing on them. And so then they will maintain their bone mineral density or even possibly increase the bone mineral density, so there's a lot less likelihood of breaking a bone in a wreck. So those are great reasons to hit the dang weights or push-ups or whatever you can do. Let's keep going. Another awesome benefit of resistance training is that you get to address all of your weaknesses and your imbalances. So let's take somebody like me. I like to think I'm pretty strong, but maybe don't have the best endurance. So I can change the way that I lift, and that could be my cadence of lifting, the sets, the reps, rest times, whatever it is, to build up more endurance. And, say somebody else needs to develop power or strength or speed. You can completely change the way that you are performing your resistance training protocols to accommodate all of this, and you can build yourself into a more well-rounded athlete, a more well-rounded mountain biker or cyclist, and I think that that's a huge plus and a huge reason that you should incorporate resistance training. And so that brings me into my next subject here, and it's a really cool one, and that is neuromuscular control and neuromuscular coordination. Now, if you've been lifting for a while, you can probably remember back when you started, it was awkward. And if you haven't been lifting and you start something, say today, you may notice that some of those movements don't come very easily and they don't feel very coordinated. Resistance training, all that is going to help with that. So as you lift, as you do movements, you're going to develop a better mind and body connection. You're going to have more efficient motor unit recruitment, and better quality movement is going to develop as your brain and your muscles begin to talk to each other better, and you're going to be able to coordinate movement patterns a lot better. It's really cool stuff, and as you develop that, you can start getting into more complex movements that are really difficult, but you're going to have that control. Why does that benefit you on the mountain bike? Because you need coordinated patterns of movement to be able to really control the bike, say in cornering or in drops and jumping or whipping the bike around or doing anything like that for bike control. So it's important to have that control and that coordination between the brain and the muscles so you can do these things really well and efficiently and safely. The other thing that resistance training is going to do when it comes to bike handling is give you more strength to be able to really just handle that bike, push it around, throw it wherever you need it to, lean it into corners, and just like bust it through rock gardens and plow and everything like that. Through the resistance training, you develop that coordination, you develop that strength, and it's just going to make you a better, safer rider. And that's what we're all here to do, right? It's just to have fun and do the best we can. Resistance training can help with all that. I really think you should incorporate it in. Again, this list wasn't like complete. There's a lot of other things we can go into, and I'm going to continue putting out videos like this. Now, if you enjoy this kind of content, again, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos about fitness for your mountain biking. I do suggest that you go ahead and start some sort of resistance training, even if it's just doing some push-ups and some squats in your living room every day or every morning, whatever you need, just to help improve your time on the bike and just make you feel better. Thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions, or if there's something I missed that you think is important, just throw it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later.